What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. Week 3 is in the books, so you know what that means. It's time for Week 4 of my college football AG poll. Before we get completely started here, though, do me a favor and hit that big old red subscribe button down below and join me in the comment section. Let me know your top 25, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy what you see here. So before we dive completely into the top 25 here, let's go ahead and talk about who's in and out. Dropping out of my rankings this week, we have South Carolina. Probably will be back pretty soon. They've only lost to 2 teams in my top 15, I think, so nothing bad about that. Tennessee, I was skeptical on Tennessee this year anyway. I wasn't really a big believer in Joe Milton. They may bounce back, I don't know. But Florida beat Tennessee, kind of made Utah look a little more impressive in the process. Then also dropping out, we had Kansas State. And so we had 3 teams replace those, and I'll talk about those when we get there. But start off at number 25, we have Iowa. Another week, they win again. They finally get some competition next week. They play Michigan, so we'll see if they can hang there or not. 24, a newcomer this week, we have Louisville. Louisville got a pretty solid schedule here, pretty nice schedule, lays out pretty nicely. They should be in the top 25 for the rest of the year probably. 23, another newcomer, we have Maryland. Maryland had a pretty solid year last year, probably the 4th or 5th best team in the Big Ten. I see that happening again this year. 2 of his brothers, pretty good, and they'll probably be the 4th or 5th best team again, like I said. 22, we have UCLA. They were in my top 25 last week and didn't do anything to get knocked out. So Pac-12 is going to really start playing each other here in the next couple weeks, and we'll kind of get to see who can play and who can't in the Pac-12. 21, another Pac-12 team, Washington State. Washington State, same thing. If you remember last year, they were actually ranked for a while until the end portion of the year. They kind of started dropping off, but I could see them being ranked again this year for the majority of the year. 20, we've got Clemson. They've got that one loss, but Duke hasn't done anything to make that loss look bad yet. Don't forget, Clemson won the ACC last year, so they're not bad. 19, Oregon State. Similar with the other Pac-12 teams, I haven't seen enough yet to kind of, move them up, I guess. But that's coming next week, and we'll find out who can play and who can't real soon. Number 18, another Pac-12 team, Oregon. They beaten Texas Tech. That's not a bad one at all, but we'll see what happens when they ramp up the competition. 17, my last newcomer of the week, Missouri. Missouri, shocking win. Whenever they took that delayed game at the end of the game, I was like, what are we doing here? But then the dude nailed a 61-yarder to beat Kansas State. So, hey, I guess Coach knew what he was doing. But Missouri making a surprise appearance in the top 25. I did not expect them to be in the top 25 this year. They weren't on my radar at all. But, hey, here they are. Let's see if they can hang with the rest of the SEC. 15, Ole Miss playing Alabama here pretty soon. Might be next week, actually. I'm not sure. Might be the week after that. But they struggled for a little bit today with Georgia Tech. But at the end of the day, kind of ended up blowing them out. So Ole Miss, usually that's what they do. They beat the teams they should beat, lose the teams they should lose to. So 15 and 20, probably be their range all year, in my opinion. 14, North Carolina. Had a solid win against Minnesota. Minnesota was 2-0. So pretty big win, in my opinion, over a Power 5 opponent that's not bad by any means. So pretty solid one there. 13, Duke. Duke, they're going to keep on moving up as teams start to lose. If they can just keep winning, they've got that win over Clemson to start, and they haven't done anything to look less impressive than they already looked. 12, Utah. Now, this one, put an asterisk next to it, because if they have Cam Rising, Utah's a top 5 team in the nation, in my opinion. I was originally going to move them down more this week, because this is rating them without Cam Rising. I was going to move them down more, but Florida proceeded to beat the crap out of Tennessee, though, so I moved them up a little bit. 11, Alabama. Oh, man, what a letdown this week. If they can get their quarterback situation figured out, I think they'll be fine. I don't know why they didn't put Milroe back in the game today. He didn't play at all. He didn't look great against Texas, but he did look like an athlete at least. You know what I mean? Like the quarterbacks that are playing today, they're definitely not the answer. So don't be surprised if Milroe gets back in, and don't be surprised if Alabama's back in the top 10 soon, despite what you saw today, because I know even today I had my reservations about that. That wasn't very good. 10, LSU. They took care of business today. They were kind of a sneaky on upset alert team here playing Mississippi State, but they dominated Mississippi State, so I actually moved them above Alabama this week. Number 9, Notre Dame. They haven't played anybody, but that showdown is coming next week. They've got Ohio State next week, and I can't wait for that one. Number 8, Washington. Really probably the most impressive Pac-12 team so far this year. Michael Penix Jr. is tearing it up. Beat Michigan State today, but with the whole Mel Tucker thing going on there, it's hard for me to know, where Michigan State's at mentally. So a good win nonetheless. 7, Penn State. They handled Illinois today, so they're going to keep moving up as teams lose ahead of them. Last year, they only lost to playoff teams, so they're pretty good. Eventually, they could sneak into the playoff. It might be the year this year. 6, Florida State. One of the more surprising games of the week. Florida State barely beat Boston College. And Boston College had a chance to get the ball back with like 30 seconds left, but jumped off sides. Got a 5-yard penalty to give Florida State a first down to end the game. Surprising. I don't know. I wouldn't expect the Boston College to play with them after how Florida State beat LSU, but I dropped them a couple spots this week. Number 5, Texas. I dropped them a couple spots this week too. I had them and Florida State above 3 and 4, but I moved them down. Texas didn't look very impressive against Wyoming. And in my opinion, the championship caliber teams, when you're playing a team of Wyoming's caliber, you should be able to just dominate them. And they didn't do that here. 4, Georgia. Struggled with South Carolina. Now, I am a South Carolina believer. Like, I think they're a top 25 team, so it's not a bad win by any means. But they were struggling. I thought Spencer Rattler was about to pull off the upset. But Georgia, second half, looked a little more calm and kind of, sliced and diced them in that fourth quarter. 3, Ohio State. Not a bad win today. Beat Western Kentucky. They've had a pretty high-flying offense the past few years. But, again, they've got Notre Dame next week. If they win that one, they could move up for me. 2, USC. I think they had a bye this week. I think they get Colorado next week. So Caleb Williams finally going to shut down the Colorado hype probably. As you can see, I don't have Colorado listed here. I don't have them on top 25. Mark Jones asked at the end of the commentary in their broadcast after they beat Colorado State, which is 0-1, do you believe now in Colorado? The answer is no, I do not. And I think that's going to show next week when Caleb Williams just shredded Colorado and they beat them by 30 points. And at number 1, I have Michigan. My top 2, again, this is just going off of what I've seen so far, and I think they have the best returning talent from last year. Michigan returns their whole team from last year that made the playoff, and as of right now, I don't see anything slowing them down. They beat Ohio State last year, and as of right now, I would pick Michigan again. But let me know your thoughts on my top 25 down in the comments section. Like I said at the beginning of this video, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button down below for me, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up. So until next time, AG, out.